Hello everyone. In previous video I demonstrated how to create a Telegram bot and how to use it. Now I am going to explain how this bot stores the data in the database and retrieve the data from the database. Now let first see the code. Firstly we are importing the important and necessary modules like Firebase, which provide the Firestore database, and the Node Telegram bot API, which we use to interact with the Telegram bot, and we require a node fetch in order to make a HTTP request to the API, which we are using in this, and we are storing the token which we get while we are creating the bot in the bot folder, and this is the token of our bot, and we store this token in the token variable. After that we are setting our bot using this token. After that we are setting the database using the Firebase, and by providing the key to it, and this key we get from the Firebase website. This is the Firebase website. Now you can here when you go to the settings and project settings and go to the service accounts, just a minute. Here when you click on the generate new private key, then automatically a file will download in the background, and this file is the key to use in our program, and this is the file. Account key.json is a file which is the key for the database, and we initialize this database and we store this database in the db variable, which we use in the later part. Now we call the function called on function, which is called by the bot and which takes the two parameters, message and the function, and function takes a single parameter called msg. msg is the message that the user sends to the bot, and after that we are taking the text message in the message test, and we split this message into individual words and store in the new message. A new message is the array which contains the individual words. After that we are checking the different conditions, like suppose if the starting word in the condition starting word in the message is /start, then the bot sends the welcome message and the what do you call and the number of commands in order to interact with the bot. Suppose if the starting word in the message is not start, then it checks, then it's go to the then it go to the else if block and it checks the insert command. Suppose if the starting word in the message is insert, then it goes inside this else if block and checks these two conditions, like if this message length is equal to 4 or not, and the word at the index 2 is favorite color or not. Suppose if these both conditions are true, then it goes inside it, and the word at the first index is to the the word at index 1 represents the name which is stored in the name, and the word at the index 3 represents the color is stored in the favorite color variable. Now we store this data in the database like by db.collection, by calling this function called collection, which takes the parameter user data. User data is the name of the collection, and the bot call another function called add, which will add the data into the database. Here this name is the field name and this name is the value which we give to the field name. The bot will add the data into the database along with the user ID which we have given here, and then if the bot if the data is stored in the database, then we call another function called then, which helps the bot to send the message that the data is stored successfully in the database. If there is an error, then we call another function catch, which handles this error, and this is the code for it. And if if both the conditions mentioned above are false, then the then it goes to the else block where it sends the message like invalid command. So it specifies the correct format how to interact with the bot. Suppose after that, if the if the starting word in the message is not insert, then it goes to another else block. And in another else block, it checks if the starting word is get or not. By in this else block, we are retrieving or getting the data from the database using the key. Here you can see db.collection, and this is our collection name, and we are calling another function called where, which take three parameters: user id, which is stored in the database, and it double equal to is the relation, and msg.from.id is the id of the user. And if this condition is satisfied, then we get the matched data of the user id, matched user id of the data from the database. And this retrieved data is in the form of docs, and by using this doc we store the name and the favorite color in the respective name and the favorite color, and this bot retrieves the data from the database and send a message in the bot like your name and favorite color. In order to handle the error, we again call the catch function in order to handle it. Suppose if this condition is also false, then we go to another else block which checks if the starting word in the message is /code. In this we are requesting the API in order to get the we request this API in order to get the random code. Here we are. This is the URL of our API. This API will help to generate a random codes. Okay, and we convert this response into a JSON object, and this data, by using this data we extract the quotation text and store it in the code, and the author of that code in the author variable, and then the bot will send the quotation and the author of this quotation code. In order to handle the error, we again call the catch function to handle it. Suppose if all above the conditions are if all the conditions are all false, then it finally goes to the else block, and the bot will send the message like, please make sure you use the get command or insert command or /code command in order to interact with the bot. That's it for the code. Now let's see the demonstration of our Telegram bot. Here you can see I already created a Telegram bot using the bot folder, and this is my bot. Before going to the demonstration of our bot, we need to on the server in order to work the bot. In order to on the server, we go to the folder where our program file exists and open in the command line. Now type node space or file name. Now the server is on. Now go to our Telegram bot. Now when you press the start button, then you can see the bot will send the welcome message and the number of commands in order to interact with the bot. Here you can see there are three commands. Firstly, insert command is used to insert or add the data into the database, and the second command is get command in order to fetch or retrieve the data from the database, and the third command is the /code command, which generate a random code which we retrieve from the API. Now if we press the /code command, then you can see that we are getting the code and the author of the code. When you press code again, then you can see another random code is generated. That's it. Now suppose if you want to insert the data into the database, we need to type this format. Okay, now let's just type it. Before typing the insert command, if you press the insert command wrongly, then what is the result? Now let's see. Here you can see that the bot will send a message that use the correct format like insert name, favorite color and color name. So now we are going to use this format. Now I have inserted data into the database. Now here you can see that Tony's favorite color red stored successfully. That means that the data is stored in the database. Now let's insert another one, same like that. Just copy paste and change the name. Again, this data is also stored in the database. Now let's add another one. Here you can see it is also stored in the database. Now see, is it stored in the database or not? By going to our database and go to our database. Here you can see our collection name is user data. In this collection we are storing the data. Here you can see the data is stored in the database like our name, our color and our user ID. We stored three data. They are stored in the database. Now in order to retrieve the data from the database, we use another command called get command. Now just type get command correctly which are specified above. Like this is the command. It is a case sensitive. When you press get command, here you can see that the data which is stored in the database are retrieved, and here we can see in this our bot. That's it for the demonstration of our bot. I think you have understand the code and the demonstration of our bot, and you are able to build a Telegram bot and use it to store the data in the database and retrieve the data in the database. I think you have understand my explanation. If you have any doubts, then please reach out to me. Thank you.